So I'm watching Love and Hip Hop New York Season 9, Episode 9, and the episode was titled Sour Grapes. It aired on VH1 Monday night, January 28th of 2019. Now, there was one scene in particular that made me mad. Let me tell you what scene it was, and let me explain what happened, and then as I'm explaining, I'll be explaining to you why it pissed me off, my Jesus. So basically, some of the ladies and Jonathan went to a wine vineyard. Okay, so there was, let me see, Kimbella and Sin Santana, along with Sidney Starr. There was Jonathan, let me see, Mariah Lynn, and Nya Lee. I think I got everybody. First of all, they had to travel 3 hours to get to Clear View Vineyard in Warwick, New York. So it's Clear View Vineyard in Warwick, New York. Okay, just for the record. As Sidney Starr pointed out, Sidney Starr is basically being fake towards Nya Lee, trying to be, quote, fake nice, so that Sidney could get some help getting in the music industry, using Nya Lee for her connections and whatnot. So Sidney is basically trying to finesse Nya Lee. Now, Nya Lee is a hustler, former stripper, bald head, crazy as hell. Nya Lee is not the type of person to be trying to finesse. But that's what Sidney is doing, nevertheless, trying to finesse this bald-headed heifer. That reminds me of Saget from Street Fighter. She got the bald head underneath that wig. She got that scar on her chest. The only thing she needs is a damn eye patch, and I can see her now. Tiger uppercut. Anybody who plays Street Fighter knows what I'm talking about. You dig? So, boom, right? On a previous episode, Nya Lee tried to help Sidney dress more appropriate. Sidney has the boobs hanging out, the booty hanging out, just everything, The transgender diva, Sidney Starr, loves to show off everything. Nya Lee, acting as Sidney's mentor, is like, look, if you want to be taken seriously in hip hop, this is what you got to do. Now, let's just be real here. When it comes to female rappers, and Sidney Starr identifies as female, when it comes to females in rap music, dressing slutty, I mean, that's just kind of the norm. Is there any female rapper who's popular, who's currently rapping, that's conservatively dressed? I can't name one. It just seems to be the norm. Now, that would make Sidney Starr really stick out. Think about it. Transgendered plus dressing conservatively, dressing like Little House on the Prairie. There's really no need for Sidney Starr to be walking around dressing like the first lady in the 60s or something like that. I don't know what Nya was thinking. I swear that this is all for a storyline. And I'm not mad at them. Get your money. So, boom. Sidney's apologizing to Nya Lee for ruining one dress in particular that Sidney Starr slutted up, had basically, cut up and shortened, if I'm not mistaken, as well, and made to look sexier because that's Sidney's style, right? So Sidney is apologizing to Nya Lee, and listen, Sidney, what you should have done was rub Nya Lee's bald head. Now, there's something about rubbing on a bald head of a woman that will definitely make her say, I forgive you. I used to talk to this African heifer that, I'll save that for another video. So Sidney Starr was apologizing to Nya Lee, hugging on Nya Lee, giving Nya Lee the greatest puppy eyes, sorrow-filled, I'm sorry, please forgive me eyes that I've seen in a long time, my Jesus. It was hilarious. That part of it was funny. Sidney did everything but lick Nya Lee down there. All right? Sidney was doing everything, my Jesus. I wouldn't be surprised if Sidney gave Nya Lee some flowers behind the scene. So, boom. They left the outside of the wine vineyard and they went inside. And they met up with the owner of the wine vineyard, Frank Gressel. I think that's what his name is. Gressle. Gracel, something like that. Anyway, Frank. So Frankie G, the owner of the wine vineyard, basically showed them the facility where the wine gets made. Did I say facility? Did I? Okay. I'm making sure I say it again, because y'all know that I have trouble pronouncing my words. Y'all know I'm a mumble rapper on the weekends. So anyway, so Mariah Lynn takes her socks off. We got to see her pretty feet. Shout out to Mariah. And Sidney gets barefoot too. And these two heifers hopped up in a big old, what looks like a flower pot full of grapes, and we're jumping and humping all over the grapes. making wine. Now, Jesus, since Santana felt the way that I felt, I don't want to drink this wine out of these heifers is jumping all up on these grapes. And it was funny because Sidney says something to the effect of, I don't want my tuck to come loose. Sweet God, do y'all understand what I'm saying? That Sidney didn't want the mean 3.5 inches to fall out beneath that short dress, touch a grape. They will go from drinking wine to drinking wiener. So Sidney didn't want that to happen. They came there to drink Chardonnay, not Charlemagne. They came there to drink Pinot Noir, not Penis Noir, okay? They didn't want any penis colada, okay? So after that, you know, Mariah Lynn ended up talking with Kimbella about the whole Yandy situation. So let's skip forward because this video is about Sidney and Nya Lee. So Sidney let Nya Lee know. The reason why I flinched at you on a previous episode is because I wanted you to shut up at the time. So everybody's reaction was like, well, damn. What are you doing, Sidney? So boom. Nya Lee gets really upset, and this is when the scene just got ridiculous, okay? Probably one of the funniest parts in the whole episode is during this scene, Jonathan screamed like a bitch. He was like, ah! Out of nowhere. When Nya Lee was about to hit Sidney, Jonathan just started screaming like a heifer. So that was hilarious. But what wasn't funny about the scene was the daggone editing. This is what pissed me off. Royally pissed me off. So basically, Mariah Lynn has said something to the effect of the lengths that Nya Lee was going to were bullying against Sidney Starr, which means something was said or some things were said that were edited out. Now, why the heck did they edit out the good part? I want to know what the heck Nya Lee was saying that was so bad. You know, these women have thick skin. These are New Yorkers, and well, Mariah Lynn is from New Jersey. I forget where Sidney Starr is from originally, but you know, almost everybody there is a New Yorker, and they have thick skin. And you know, these aren't exactly pushovers that were there. None of them. Not Jonathan, not any of them. So for Mariah Lynn to say that Nya Lee went too far, well, what the hell was said? And why the hell did my people at my favorite network, VH1, dare edit it? Aunt Mona, you need to talk to these people in the editing room now, my Jesus. Y'all could have extended the episode and made it an hour and a half long or 2 hours or whatever y'all had to do. We want to know what was said. Don't we, people? Don't we want to know? I bet it was freaking hilarious, but it must have been dead wrong. She must have been really out of pocket. So what do you guys think? Did that piss you off, the fact that we didn't get to hear what exactly happened? Do you think this scene was for real? Do you think they're really beefing? I don't know, guys, man. I'm going to have to holler at Nya and Sidney and see what information I can get. All I know is I'm so glad that Nya Lee put some hair on her head because she's looking pretty nice nowadays. Would say Nya Lee is married. I better stay out of her DMs. I just want information. I'm not trying to get a number. I know she has a man. Shoot. Now, she didn't have a man. I would have been up in them DMs. But I'm definitely going to have to hit up Nya, hit up Sidney, see what information I can get about what happened behind the scenes. Now, I ain't nobody, so nobody's going to reply to me, but I'm still going to do it anyways, my Jesus. So wish me luck with that. So what do you guys think? Whose side of the argument were you on and why? Listen, man, I think that the discussion is ridiculous because this is no offense to Nya Lee because Nya Lee is talented, but where is Nya Lee in her career as a rapper where she should be giving advice to other people and be mentoring other people? Come on now. It's not like she did it once before but can't do it now like Trina. You know, sure, Trina is terrible now and should just hang up the mic and retire, but at least Trina was listenable 20 years ago. You know what I mean? She has success as an artist. Nya Lee has talent, but she doesn't have the success to be mentoring anybody. I think you should have both the talent and plus some sort of resume. What is Nya Lee's resume? Stripper with a bald head, reality TV star. You understand what I'm saying? So this is no diss to Nya Lee, because I actually like Nya Lee. She's a good looking chick when she has hair. But I'm just saying though, because y'all know I don't like skinheaded women. No, not for me. But anyways, you guys, this is all my opinion. What do I know? I'm just a Nya Lee and Sidney Starr fan with the microphone. What do you guys think? Whose side are you on and why? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Or are you somewhere in the middle? Let me know what you think about it all below. Meat Magazine on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and MeWe. Meat Magazine blog on Instagram. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, notify. Let me know what you think about Sidney and Nya Lee and their beef. Do you think it was ridiculous? Do you think that Sidney needs a different mentor? You know, I would like to see my girl Mariah Lynn be Sidney's mentor. I think that Mariah Lynn has the perfect balance of talent, success as an artist, the right connections, and plus the right amount of patience. Because apparently it's going to take a lot of patience to work with Sidney, because Sidney can be a handful. That's not me saying it. I'm just going by what I see other people going through. I mean, I think Sidney's cool, so I don't really know. But then again, I'm not mentoring Sidney as an artist. So yeah, anyways. So let me know what y'all think about it below. Meat Magazine on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Meat Magazine blog on Instagram. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, notify. Share this video on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Google+. Toucans with the string in the middle and telepathically. That way everybody named Mama 2 knows that Sidney Starr and Nya Lee don't like each other. I think that that's whack. I think they should be best friends. I mean, they have the same damn hairdo. No, I'm just kidding, y'all. But I really do think that they need to not be beefing. I don't want to hear that Nya Lee and Sidney Starr got into a fight at the reunion for Sidney's sake. First of all, I don't want to see people fighting. Number two, Sidney's not a fighter. So, yeah. So, I don't want that to happen. But shout out to both of them. I wish them both the best. But come on now. Nya Lee as a mentor in music. Now, if Nya Lee wanted to mentor Sidney in stripping, that would make sense. But as a rapper, you know. But remember, this is not a diss. I have mad love for Nya Lee. I'm not trying to be funny, all right? I'm just being real, okay? All right, y'all. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Or sound like a mean coochie. See, these big Negro lips done tripped over each other again. Do you guys agree with me or do you disagree with me, and why? Meat Magazine.